So in today's society, everybody has somebody they know that is in the military, whether that's close family members, parents, or a little bit farther out that have served before you were born, or maybe it was a friend in high school that when we all graduated, they shipped off and they didn't come to college with you. With all these people in everybody's lives that are in the military, you would think that most people would know a little bit more about how the military works, or more specifically, what the culture is of the military. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about today, is just to kind of give you a little bit of insight into some of the more universal truths in the military. Note that for every different service member, they may have their own experiences and may not share the exact same experiences that I have. But as being in the military for 2 years now, I'm going to go ahead and share with you what I know. Now, the most visible part of military culture is the uniform, which is my cultural object for you today, is the uniform. Now, technically, the purpose of the uniform is to make a military member visible, which is ironic given that they're always in a camouflage pattern. It's meant to distinguish who you are, that you are both A, a part of military service, and B, some of the base information about you. Now, what I have on today is one standard issue set of OCP, which stands for Occupational Camouflage Pattern uniform, adorned with the appropriate patches to distinguish your name, your service, your rank, what branch of service you are a part of, and what unit you are a part of. I'm a part of the 119th Air National Guard, also known as the Happy Hooligans. Now, what does this mean to the actual person wearing it? When you are trained, you're told that it should be an extension of who you are. It should represent you in how you think, what you've done, and such. It should show clearly how long you've been in the service with your rank, how well you follow the standards, and how you should be respected by other military members, by how well you adhere to the standards of dress, and to how you carry yourself and how you feel about your military service. It also is meant to signify that anybody else in your uniform has taken the same oath and vows to be a part of the service. That oath being the oath of enlistment. That in there states that you will do everything in your power to defend your country, whether it's from enemies foreign and domestic. But besides the oath of enlistment and the actual uniform, what are some other universal commonalities that military members experience? And another major part would be rites of passage. Now, nobody will go out and tell you this is what I did for my rite of passage into the military. But if you were to enlist, you would figure out very quickly what is getting you in there. And the very largest and most obvious is basic military training. Again, this is where only my experience comes in, and as every service has its own unique take on what basic should be, composed of its requirements, its duration, and its major points that it tries to train you. Now, for me, basic military training was 8 weeks of shut up and do what you're told in San Antonio, Texas. Now, obviously I made it through given that I'm standing here in uniform, but that's not to say that everybody did. My class, if you will, was 104 men who signed up for the exact same purpose that I did, to be a part of the military. Of this, 1 was recycled backwards and had to be in basic for longer, 4 were discharged due to medical reasons, and 2 were dishonorably discharged from the service due to committing crimes while in basic. Now, basic isn't meant to be easy, but nor is it meant to be impossible. You're meant to succeed and continue on forward. And that hasn't changed throughout the course of military history. Once you get out of basic, and get stationed at your first base, you will get to kind of understand how the real Air Force works, or in my case, how the real Air Force works. You will the experience to some of the minor changes from what textbook answers are supposed to be, and as well as another major part being rituals. Now these rituals are things that each base will change or that interpersonal people will experience to welcome them into the community, if welcoming was used loosely. Now, the major ritual that the Air Force uses is called tacking on your stripes, which is whenever you promote, whether that's you're a lowly airman like myself, or you are an officer of higher rank. Whenever you promote, you'll have somebody come up to you, put on your rank, and subsequently tack on your stripes. In the past, when your rank was on your sleeves, you could get hit quite hard. But now, with it being in the center of your chest, they've kind of toned it down, and with the PC police, everything having to be a little bit more careful with how we treat people, most rituals have been kind of toned down. Now, what you take away from all of this is up to you, whether or not you go speak to somebody who actually is in the service, and maybe you want to talk about them and ask them some of their experiences. Maybe now you'll have a little bit of insight into what they know. All I hope is that you learn something from this, and going forward, maybe now you're able to have a conversation with someone.